अरे मैम मुंह मीठा करो, मुंह मीठा करो।
क्या क्या हो गया?
अरे मैम मैं टॉप 3 में आया।
हाँ?
हाँ।
ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट थी करो एग्जाम।
अरे पूछो मत मैम, बहुत डिफिकल्ट था पेपर।
कितने बच्चे रहेंगे? मैंने पूछा कितने बच्चे थे?
5।
Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to a super informative video which is about Nifty 50 Q4 2022 performance. And by the end of the video, you are going to tell me whether Nifty has passed or failed in this Q4 result. But I would surely like to tell that all of these viewers have surely passed in the race to gain more and more knowledge. So now let's understand the Nifty 50 performance very carefully. So I want everyone to pay attention on this table. Now this table talks about the entire sample which is not a 50 right now. It is of 40 because as I shoot the video, that is on 24th of May, right now only 40 companies out of Nifty 50 companies have declared their Q4 results. Okay. Which results am I talking about? I'm talking about YOY results. Means what? I'm comparing Q4 of 2022 with Q4 of 2021, right? So comparison is clear. Now, out of the 40 companies, 7 companies have shown a profit degrowth of more than 1%. Now, what do we mean by this? In simple words, profit, yes, of course, there is still a profit in this quarter also, but the profit has fell by more than 1%. If you have still not understood, I'm going to take an example. Wait, first focus. Then if I'm talking about another set of companies, there is no degrowth in profit as such. The profit is flat, more or less similar. That is just one company out of 40 companies. Next one, there is a profit growth. That's the third category or third criteria I'm taking. There is a profit growth of 0% to 20%, in the range up to 20%. And there are total 10 such companies. Okay. And finally, profit growth of more than 20% is what? 22 companies. Didn't understand anything? I'll give you a simple example. Assume that in quarter 4 of 2021, okay, assume that profit was 100 rupees. Okay, what will happen in the first case? Assume this year profit is only 80. Can I say there is still a profit? Yes, but there is a degrowth in profit by more than 1%. Example, criteria 1 clear. Criteria 2, flat profit. Means what? Last quarter, matlab Q4 21, profit was almost 100. This year also profit is almost 100. 100.5, 99.5, 101. So flat growth. Simple. Example number 3 or criteria number 3, what is that? In criteria number 3, assume the profit of previous quarter was 100 and now it will be how much? Let us say 110. So there is a growth, but between 0 to 20. And then what will be the fourth one? In the fourth one, the profit will be more than 20%. So anything beyond 120, say 140. Simple till here. Okay. You want me to show some real life examples also? Have a look at this. Now let's have a look at Hero MotoCorp, right? Now if you see for Hero MotoCorp, this is March 21 and here if you see net profit is 881. March 22, is there still a profit? Yes, but profit, there is a degrowth from 881 to 611 by more than 1%. Of course, this is way too higher. This is almost 30% degrowth. Is that a bad sign? Yes. Now let's take an example of flattish growth. Example, Asian Paints. March 21, 852 and March 22, 850. More or less similar, if you remember that one company. Now third one is profit growth 0 to 20%. Now let me take you with the example of Britannia Industries. Now your net profit March 21 was 364 and March 22 it is 380. So this is hardly what? Hardly somewhere around 4 to 5%, right? And the last one is Maruti Suzuki. Here if you see, Maruti Suzuki net profit is 1,241 versus 1,876. This is almost 50% growth in net profit, which was fitting into the fourth criteria. Simple till here. So all in all, what feeling are you getting? That, yay, my first 3 mein aa gaya, came in the first 3 in the class, pre-bumper. Is it giving you that feeling? Yes. Now if you remember, then I asked, wow, how many people were there? So in simple words, I was trying to dig down deeper and I was trying to see whether that is a real picture or not. If I'm talking about net profit, that is one criteria to be checked. But I feel the real picture can be seen if we check the EBITDA margins or OPM percentage. Okay, what is OPM? Operating profit margin percentage. All right, so before we move on to important announcements. Number one, when I recorded the video, I've already mentioned in this video that only 40 companies out of the Nifty 50 companies had come up with their results, right? But when the video will be released, I'm sure that all 50 companies, the Nifty 50 companies, might have come up with their results. Then how will you get to know about the balance 10 companies' results? For that, I'm going to conduct a live stream on this Friday at 9 p.m. So don't forget to check that out. When you check the live stream, you will get a holistic view of all the 50 companies and you will be able to build a conviction about how Nifty can perform in the coming 1 or 2 quarters based only on what? Fundamental analysis. But the second important point is that you can't build a view only and only on fundamental analysis. If it is backed by technical analysis, your conviction about your thought process will be much, much higher. Then how do you learn about technical analysis? And for that, I have to tell you that I've come up with a new course that is technical analysis only, but with all new points, something like Dow theory. I've talked about position sizing. I've talked about a very important point, that is your emotional quotient, risk reward, price action, gap theory, and all latest examples are included, which will help you to build a view on Nifty in the coming 1 or 2 quarters. So if you want to enroll for TA 2.0 course, don't forget to check out our course on rachanaranade.com and also use that coupon code. Now one question pops up in your mind, and what is that? What is OPM? What is operating profit margin? Is it the same like profit before tax? Answer is absolutely no. There's a big difference. Okay. What do we mean by operating profit? In Hindi, it will be called as Kam Kaji Munafa. Aha. Okay. But then it is as simple as something like this, that how much profit are you earning from your key operations? How much profit are you earning from your core operations? I was discussing this example with my shoot team and I said, chalo, let's take your example only. Charel na? Yes, okay. Chalo. So the example that I gave him was, assume that in the previous year's last quarter, assume you got a recording assignment and whereby the client was ready to pay you 100 rupees. Okay. Now, he took the entire project, but then he has to hire a cameraman, he has to hire a lighting guy, he has to hire a script writer, and assume he pays them 20 rupees, 30 rupees, and again 20 rupees respectively. So, what is his total operating expense? Expenses incurred to operate his business. That will be 20 plus 30 plus 20, that will come to 70. So, income received 100. 70 rupees expenses given to all these main people. How much money is left with him? Money left with him will be 100 minus 70. That will be 30. If I ask you, operating profit is 30 rupees. How much is the operating profit margin? Simple. Operating profit divided by revenue. So in our example, 30 divided by 100 and percentage. So 30 divided by 100 multiplied by 100. So in simple words, I can say operating profit margin is 30%. Okay, till here. So how much was the operating profit? 30. Now assume he had taken a loan for his studio and interest that he pays for that loan is assume 20 rupees, right? And now the final profit before tax is 10. I am not considering any depreciation or any other expense to make the example easier. Okay. Now come Q4 2022, you got another assignment. Okay. Yeah. Now client is conjuice. He's going to give you only 100 rupees again for the assignment. Okay. But cameraman says, inflation, I want 25 rupees. Lighting guy says, I want 35 rupees. Script writer Script writer is going to give only 20 rupees. Okay. Chalo. So 1 minute. I guess in the previous example, by mistake, there was this 20. Anyways. Chalo. So now tell me, now in this case, how much is the profit remaining? 100 minus 25 minus 35 minus 20. Now remaining profit is only 80. So I can say this profit is nothing but what? This profit is nothing but operating profit. Operating profit is 20 only. Okay, operating profit is 20. How much is operating profit margin? 20 was the operating profit divided by sales into 100. So 20 by 100 into 100, that comes to 20%. Assume he had some excess cash and that is why he repaid the loan, and because of which didn't pay the entire loan, repaid a lot of loan, and that is why automatically interest on loan was a lesser amount. And now interest has fallen from 20%, from 20 rupees to only 5 rupees. Now what happened? Now the thing is that from this 20 rupees operating profit, he paid only 5 rupee interest, and now his profit before tax is 15. So now tell me what happened. His profit before tax went up from 10 rupees to 15 rupees. Yay, I came in the top 3. Now dig down deep. Was it difficult? How many students are there? Dig down deep. And now I ask him, what about your operating profit margin? Digging down deep. That has gone down from 30% to only 20%. Is that a good sign? That's not a good sign, because his core operation profitability is going down. Does this happen in real life? 100%. Why not? Let me give you an example. So example is of Ultratech Cement. If you see here, the net profit has gone up from 1775 crores to 2620 crores. But at the same time, if you check their OPM percentage has gone down from 26% to 19%. Is this good or bad? This is bad. So always remember, whenever you are trying to analyze any company, you just can't see the PAT. You also have to check the OPM. Now, which were the type of companies which saw a big hit in the margins? Cement, steel, auto, all these companies took a big hit. But you can also take a big hit by hitting the like button, right? And which were the gainers? Banks, NBFCs, these were the biggest gainers in the Nifty 50. I hope with this you have understood about how is the overall report card of Nifty 50. All in all, to give you a final report card of Nifty 50 as on date, out of 40 companies which have published their results, 22 companies are such which are showing a PAT growth of more than 20%. And people will be like super happy. Kya pata, Nifty is performing very well. But then, should your analysis stop here? Nope. Because PAT is not the ultimate thing to be checked. Ideally, more importance, a shade higher importance is to be given to OPM. And for operating profit, out of 40 companies, 24 companies are showing an OPM pressure in margin, squeezed operating profit. So now, are you getting the real picture? Yes, real picture is that majority of the companies at operating profit level are not performing well. Now, why is there a squeeze in operating pressure? Why is there a squeeze in operating profit margin? The simple and one of the main reason is inflation. Correct? Everyone knows how inflation is in India right now. It is continuously rising. Why only in India? Almost all countries of the world, they are facing very pathetic problem of inflation, right? To kill this inflation problem, is government doing anything? Answer is obviously yes. Number one, they have done interest rate hikes. I'm sure you might have heard about this. I've also done a separate video on that on our channel. So whenever time permits, you can also check that how government is trying to tackle the problem of inflation by increasing the repo rates, right? That is number one. Number two, they have also cut the excise duty on petrol and diesel. So overall, if petrol and diesel cost is lowered down, then automatically transport cost is reduced. If transport cost is reduced, my operating expense will also be reduced. And if operating expense is reduced, operating profit will increase, right? So government is also trying to take some measures to give some relief to the companies from these inflationary pressures. Now that you have this in your mind that अरे बाप रे, inflation is high, operating profit margins are squeezing, then you will take a conclusion that अब Nifty will go down, dhadam. Wait, for that we have to check what is the valuation of Nifty right now. And you might have seen analysts saying that this inflationary pressure has already been factored in the current valuation. Heavy sentences like these are always used by analysts. Means what? Like you and me understand that there is a problem of inflation. Similarly, the market also understands that there is a problem of inflation. And because of this, there has been one of the major corrections which have happened in the market right now. One of the reasons is because of inflation. So has market fallen down? Yes. Can I say one of the major reasons for this fall is also inflation? Yes. Currently, Nifty trades at 18x or 18 times of the forward PE. Okay. For those who don't understand PE, forward PE, again I've done a separate video on PE. Whenever time permits, have a look at that. Okay. So currently Nifty trades at around 18x forward PE. And if you check the long-term Nifty average, 10 years average, 1 year forward PE is 19.5x. Means what? Nifty is currently anyways trading at a discount as compared to its 10-year average, 10-year forward peak average. In simple words, the analysts for such a scenario will say that market has already factored in the inflation. I hope you have understood about how the overall Nifty performance is. Not only that, you understood a very important concept of OPM, and along with that, you have understood how the valuation of Nifty is currently placed as compared to a 10-year forward PE average. Well, by the end of this video, I'm sure you have understood that inflation has increased. PAT of many companies has increased. But the big question is that through this video, did your knowledge increase? If yes, don't forget to share this video with your friends. And if you want to know more about the Russia-Ukraine war and because of which the inflation has increased, you can click here. And if you want to understand inflation in Marathi, you can click here. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.